As a business owner, how you spend your time matters. Time really is money in business, but how do you keep track of it all? You're doing marketing, you're doing sales, you're managing employees, you're doing product development. How do you get everything done and keep it straight? Today, I want to talk about time management and specifically how to track your time so you know what needs to improve and what changes you need to make to get more done and therefore make more money. Hi, everyone. I'm Abby Johnson, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development. One of the things I work with my clients on a lot is actually finances and how to manage their cash flow more profitably. There's actually some parallels here with cash flow and time management. What we do with the cash flow management is we look at historical data. We look at the past. Where do we stand now? Then we look at the goal. Where do we want to be? And how do we bridge that gap? And I feel like time management is the same. We need to understand where our time is currently going so we can see what improvements we need to make to get where we want to be. The first thing I want to do is organize your business a little to get a better frame of what buckets and what areas of the business you're spending your time in. Here at Matterhorn, we like to break down each business into these 4 pillars of business basics. Every business needs to sell to their customers, deliver what was sold, acquire new customers to sell and deliver to. And this is a cycle that's always happening. And then management is what holds this engine together. This is your HR, your legal, your finance, management of employees, future vision of the company, etc. Most business owners I see are stuck down in the lower 3 pillars. They're stuck in marketing, sales, and delivery, but they want to move up into management. So we know where we want to go. We want to go to management. But where are we now? We need to know what areas of the business we're spending our time in order to get to that end goal of maybe being removed from the day-to-day or less in the day-to-day, whatever your goal is. While you're going through the time tracking we're about to talk about, I want you to think about these 4 pillars and how you're currently spending your time in them. Also, if you're interested in getting even more organized within these 4 pillars, as well as implementing a profitable cash flow system, make sure you check out our program, Adventure to Profit, below. There's a free trial that you can start today. Okay, so now let's talk about time tracking. So for me personally, I have some people on my team who are helping me with certain tasks, but I still have a lot on my plate. We still run pretty lean over here, not a lot of people. So I'm still doing a lot of activities in all of those 4 pillars that I mentioned. On top of that, I also have a son who I've been taking care of in the mornings. So I only have afternoons to work. And on top of that, I am also very pregnant at the moment. I was having a hard time specifically after getting pregnant and needing to nap or go to doctor's appointments. And, pregnancy is like a whole nother job in itself. I was really having time staying on top of my work. So this is when I decided to look at, okay, I only have X amount of hours in a week. How am I spending my time currently? And what tasks can be taken off my plate? And where am I wasting time? Because I'm sure I am wasting time. I try to be as efficient as possible, but everyone gets distracted. Everyone has their favorite parts of the business that they want to spend more time on. So I wanted to know, where is my limited time going? Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can literally just write down on a piece of paper everything you're doing and how long you're doing it for. That works best for some people. I'm more of a techie person. I like to have a software doing that for me. It already can calculate percentages of where my time is going, how many hours, and all of that. There are a million time tracking softwares out there. I'm going to show you today the one that I've been using. I mostly picked it because it has a free version, which has enough functionality for what I need. I like the interface. I'm very picky about user interfaces and them being very easy to use and also visually appealing, but you could go out and find a different one that suits your needs better, especially if you're in a business where you are billing for your work, like maybe bookkeeping or accounting or PR work or an attorney, something like that, where you're billing per hour. You may need something that's even more sophisticated, but the software I'm using today does have functionality for that as well. So I can't believe I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to show you my personal time tracker. I want you to keep in mind, I don't work a lot of hours due to all of the factors I said of taking care of a toddler, being pregnant and needing extra time to take care of myself for that. So I very much realize that my hours hours look pretty ridiculous and that you might be working a lot more hours than me. I'm super fortunate to have the team members I do have who help pick up the things that I can't take care of. So I'm in a very fortunate place to have some support, but I'm going to show you my actual numbers here. And this is still a work in progress for me. I'm still investigating and still figuring out where I can trim down my time, what tasks I can delegate, but I can tell you using a software has been super helpful for me. This particular software is called Toggle. This is what the main screen looks like. You can see right now I'm recording that I'm filming. I'm recording that time track right here. So you can set up different categories and then you can hit play to like time track now. You can hit stop. It can be a little tedious to track like every single task you're doing, or sometimes you're even too busy to go back and track it. So you can retroactively just click in the calendar, put the time in your category and everything later on. But this is what an example week looked like for me. And you can see that my time is split kind of all over the place. I try to film in big chunks, but then I have times I have client calls here. I'm still the one doing sales calls. I also handle personal FP's personal financial planning. So I do all of the bills for our household, and I also take care of the bills and finances for my mom. That's kind of a little bit, it's 2 households worth of work. I've had to clean up some things for my mom recently, which has taken more of my time. And I just wanted to see how much time that stuff was taking me. It's not necessarily something I can cut out of my life, but I need to know, hey, I need an hour a week to handle mine and my mom's finances. So what's cool is you can see each day the time worked, which is great for me because in this period of my life where I'm pregnant, I'm having to take breaks, or I get sick easier, or whatever it may be, I am pushing myself to try to increase the number of hours I'm putting in a day or week. So it's good accountability for me to say, hey, like I really need to step it up and work some more. I know these are like really low hours. Again, I'm very fortunate that I can run the business on these hours, but it's also part of why I'm falling behind is because I have very limited time. I do see a big gap here where I probably miss tracking some things, and that's just going to happen with this. This is not 100% accurate. I would say it's 90% accurate. So what I would suggest if you're going to use this software or any other software, you can use a client or project tracking software and use it how I am. This one, Toggle, is promoted more for like if you're tracking client work, and I've just adapted it to my needs. So what I did was under projects, instead of a client's name, I put the different areas of my business. You could do the 4 pillars that I talked about and just look at sales, marketing, delivery, management, but I really wanted to break mine down further to see what I can take off of my plate, especially getting ready for maternity leave. For example, I still write our newsletter every week. So how much time am I putting towards our newsletter that someone else is going to have to pick up? I'll share my categories with you. I don't know how helpful that is for you because you have a different business. I have kind of a catch-all admin category, which I'll get into that in a little bit of how I further subcategorized that. I have business financial planning because I do all of the finances. Of course, I'm the profit first professional here. I have client calls, client reports. So sometimes I'm doing profit assessments for people or P&L analysis or some sort of data analysis outside of my call time. And I want to know how much I'm doing that for. I don't really necessarily care the specific client breakdown. I just want to know in general how much of my time is being taken up by that. So filming for YouTube, also filming for different course content that we have in our program, Adventure to Profit. You can check that out below. Growth Hub is our free community. You can also check that out below. And I wanted to see exactly how much time I was putting into that group in terms of we have a free training every month. So I have to think about the prep time for that free training, the training itself. It was a bit of a newer group when I first started doing this. So I was having to put in more time to optimize it. We have a whole gamification system in the community where you can level up in the community and win rewards. And that took some of my time to set up. So I wanted to have my own category to see where my time was going there. I already went over newsletter and personal. I still do sales calls. So that's something that really soon here I want to get off my plate and turn over to someone else. So I'm trying to see how much time am I spending on sales calls that needs to be given over to someone else. And then lastly, I have staff meetings. So we have a bunch of videos on staff meeting here at Matterhorn, but I want to see how long is my time being taken up by meetings, so I know, are those meetings being done efficiently? Am I taking up too much time with meetings? That's a whole nother topic in itself, but I think is a good category to have. Okay, so now we're on a different page here. This is the reports page. I just did the last 2 weeks to see what that was like, and it will tell you this is what I really like, and when I didn't want to have to do manually is it tells you the time you spent in each area and what percentage of your time is in that area. And then the clear thing here is that I've been spending most of my time in admin, but because that's like a catch-all category, it was really hard for me to tell, okay, what within admin is taking up my time or that I can cut out or be more efficient about. They do have an option here where you can add a description to your item. For example, these are the past ones I've done. So for filming, I added a description of research and prep. So as part of filming, it usually takes me an hour to research what topics I'm going to film, make the titles for them, know what the hook is, kind of an outline of what points I'm going to hit on. So I wanted to see how long that was taking me. Within admin, I have things like statistics. I track a lot of the financial statistics, but other statistics within our business. And that takes me time each week. Checking emails, how long is that taking me? Checking them and responding to them, getting information for someone if that's what they're asking from me. I run our Zapier, which is like all of our background automations in the business. So I had to do some updates there. You get the idea. You can further categorize your projects so that you can see within those projects where your time is going. I just started using this feature. I don't have a ton of data to look over for it, but if we go back here under admin, if I click on it, we now have some of these broken down, right? So I can see exactly where my time is going on each of these things. It also shows over here in this little wheel pie chart, and I can see I spent an hour and 50 minutes on emails in 2 weeks. I spent an hour and a half creating a presentation. I spent an hour and 15 minutes doing research and prep for YouTube. You can be even more detailed in your tracking in that way. I think what I did was a good sequence of just kind of an overall tracking, get an overall idea of these big sections of my time. And then now the next level is I'm refining that even further. And now I can see, okay, I'm spending too much time here, or hey, on the newsletter, it's only an hour and a half of my time, which is pretty easily transferable to someone else. An hour and a half in 2 weeks, so 45 minutes a week. Someone else can take on that load, but 45 minutes a week for me means another sales call, almost a full client call. Like that frees up a lot of time for me. So that's where doing some initial time tracking like this is going to bring some clarity of like, okay, what's being wasted and what can be taken off my plate. And I do want to say you don't have to do this forever. I am such a data-driven statistics person that I've now kind of become obsessed with this, and I might do it forever. But for you, you could just do this, I would say a month. Depending on your life, my schedule varies wildly every week. Some weeks I have a ton of client calls, and then the next week is not a lot of client calls, but it's a lot of admin or filming instead. So my schedule fluctuates so much that I wanted to look at a full month of data. But for you, you might just need to do 1 month. You get an idea and you can rearrange your schedule accordingly. All right, I hope that was helpful for you and is going to help you bring some clarity as to where you are spending time in your business. If you need further help to better organize your business, grow your business, be more profitable, check out our free community, Growth Hub for Entrepreneurs. The link is below. This is a community of like-minded individuals that you can interact with, bounce ideas off of. Plus, we have additional trainings that are not here on YouTube that you get free access to. Click below and join us there today.